All right. The club known as Arsenal, right, is going to be hosting, Chelsea is going to be hosting a club known as Arsenal. That is tomorrow on Sunday at the Stamford Bridge. And Stamford Bridge capacity is close to 40,000 people in there, and the game of football is going to be played there. Remember, we are powered by Century Gadgets, dealers in authentic and reliable brand new phones. UK used phones, they are also available at their shop. So you can call them on +256 756 165 285 in there for you, and buy your dream phone in there for you. So get yours today. And I tell you what, you can as well go to their shop, and that is the new Pioneer Mall, PD35. That's where you're obviously going to be finding them. That is Century Gadgets in there for you. Now, let's head into the main reason as to why we are in here. It's all about a game of football between Arsenal and a club known as Chelsea. You understand? So, Chelsea is going to be hosting Arsenal, and this game comes into play after these two teams went ahead to beat two European giants in the middle of the week. Chelsea beat Barcelona by 3-0, and Arsenal went ahead to beat Bayern Munich by 3-1. And Arsenal had not gone ahead to obviously concede any goal in the Champions League, and it was the very first time that I saw Arsenal really concede a goal. So it shows you that they've been working tooth and nail, and it's really one of those teams that has not gone ahead to obviously concede very many goals in there for you. In the Premier League, Chelsea is second, and they're the hosts, and Arsenal is first, topping the table. Chelsea has 23 points, and Arsenal has 29 points, meaning that the club of Arsenal has a chance to obviously go 9 points clear ahead of Chelsea if at all they go ahead to beat them on Sunday. Chelsea has gone ahead to score 23 goals in the Premier League, and Arsenal has gone ahead to score 24. Arsenal has scored one more goal than Chelsea in there for you. So, Chelsea has conceded 11 goals, and Arsenal has conceded 6. No team has conceded least goals than Arsenal in the Premier League, and Chelsea has gone ahead to concede 11, meaning that Chelsea is a goal conceding side. If you're obviously going to be pledging your money and you think that Chelsea won't concede, then you lose your money. Chelsea is a goal conceding side. Then we go to the shots. Chelsea has conceded Chelsea in total shots on target and off target, they're 119. Arsenal has 128 in there for you, and Chelsea has gone ahead to have 67 shots on target out of the 119 total shots, and 52 shots off target in there for you. Arsenal, out of the 128 shots, 60 are on target, 68 are off target. Chelsea have 54 blocked shots, and Arsenal has 51 blocked shots. When you go to Chelsea, their passing accuracy is 86.56, and Arsenal's passing accuracy is 85.48, meaning that the club known as Chelsea has a slight edge onto what Arsenal is really having in as the passing accuracy is really concerned. 4 points at Chelsea. Chelsea has gained 4 points from losing positions, and Arsenal has gone ahead to gain 5. It shows you why they are really on top of the Premier League table. And 8 points have been dropped by Chelsea from winning positions, and Arsenal have only gone ahead to drop 2, meaning that if Arsenal take a lead, it's very hard for them to go out and obviously lose out. Now, their recent games in the Champions League, I've told you what they've gone ahead to do in there, but in the Premier League, Chelsea beat Burnley by 2-0, and Arsenal beat Tottenham Hotspur in a North London derby by 4-1 in there for you. So that is Arsenal for you, and they've all gone ahead to win their previous games in the Premier League and in the Champions League. Now, we get to the total number of games played and who has won more and who has won less. Chelsea and Arsenal in the Premier League have gone ahead to play 195 games in the league. So Chelsea has gone ahead to win 62, and Arsenal has gone ahead to win 77. Arsenal has gone ahead to win 15 more than Chelsea. Draws are 56. You understand? And let's head into the previous fixtures and see how they really happened to do their stuff when they obviously met. 16th March 2025, Arsenal beat Chelsea at the Emirates by 1-0. Then on 10th November 2024, when Arsenal paid a visit to Chelsea, it ended 1-1. So you can compare and contrast how Arsenal is this season and how Arsenal was last season. Do they think they can obviously get 3 points or a draw, or they'll drop them there? And in the season of 2023-2024, the game they played at the Emirates ended 5 Arsenal, 0 Chelsea in there for you. So that's all about a side known as Arsenal, and you can refer that to as a head-to-head in there for you. So that is Arsenal for you, and that's how we really think they'll obviously come up and really put in a very huge shift in there for you tomorrow at what we call the Stamford Bridge in there for you. We head to the team news. On the side of Chelsea, I think they only have 2 players out of action that cannot obviously come in through and really compete. And those players include there is Levi Colwill with an ACL injury and Romeo Lavia with a thigh injury. Mikhailo Modric is still unavailable on account of his provisional doping suspension in there for you. So that is a side known as Chelsea for you. For the side of Arsenal, there are doubts that can obviously come and make it into this game. And that is Leandro Trossard, who has been in epic form in there for you. And Kai Havertz and Victor Gyökeres are going to be getting into today's session to get assessed and see how they obviously and see whether the physios will obviously pass them fit to take part into this beautiful game of football in there for you, the London Derby in there for you. Those that you don't expect in this game of football is one, Jesus and Gabriel Magalhaes. Those 2 are totally out. But the other 3 that I've talked about in the names of Leandro Trossard, Kai Havertz and Victor Gyökeres will obviously have a very huge go in there for you. And I tell you what, you can term this as top of the table shutdown. That's how you can obviously term it to be in there for you. So that is Arsenal for you, and having been told you that that's how we having gone ahead to let you know what is happening in the sick bay of Arsenal and the sick bay of Chelsea. Obviously that leads us to the probable starting 11 and what we think about it in there for you, because we now have the available players, and let's see how we can plot them into the 11 spots that everything in the 11 spots that are available on the pitch. And let's head into this. Arsenal 4-3-3 system is a system I think they'll obviously resort to in there for you, and we'll see obviously their goalkeeper known as David Raya in goal, no doubts about it. He is really proving to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he is really doing the needful. And with that backline, I tell you, he is really safe. He is in safe hands. I tell you, you can call him Mr. Safe Hands. I know here in my country, Uganda, they used to call Onyango Mr. Safe Hands in there for you. So from there, we go to the right back, Benjamin White in there for you, and Julian Timber have to come and tussle it out for. And I know there is no way the manager can bench a man who really went ahead to really get involved in 2 goals when they're playing against Tottenham Hotspur. The first one was a secondary assist, and for the 3rd goal, he really laid an assist for Eberechi. And in the midweek, he scored a set piece, and you know that Arsenal kills most of these big games through set pieces. With Gabriel Magalhaes out, you really understand that all will be well, and Julian Timber can come up and represent. And I tell you what, no way Ben White gets ahead of Julian Timber, and I see Timber playing as a right back. In the middle of the week, the manager went ahead to try out Lewis Kelly as a left back, and Ricardo Carafiori came off the bench and really put in a very huge assist that gave Arsenal a lead for the 2nd time in that game. And Noni Madueke went ahead to obviously do justice to that well-squared pass, that Ricardo Carafiori went ahead to put in through. And Declan Rice was responsible for that secondary assist in there for you. So, I think Ricardo Carafiori comes in through. He was rested for like 66 minutes, and he came in through and really played like 30, meaning that he will be fresh for the game of Chelsea, and the load of work that he has to put on his body is being managed well by the manager. who goes by the names of Mikel Arteta. So I will really expect Ricardo Carafiori to come in through and obviously start into this particular encounter in there for you. Now, in the central defense, this is where we're obviously going to be asking who is obviously going to be coming in through. I think Saliba will maintain his right-sided centre-back position because for him is a constant into this central defense and he really looked good there for you. And I like it when he's really playing with these Hincapi or Mosquera. Why? These lads believe that he's a senior player and they play on his orders. And you saw when in the game of Spurs, when they're working on the field of play to warm up, you saw him trying to give Hincapi some notes. And in the game of Bayern Munich, even before the game started, you saw him really interacting with Mosquera and trying to give him some notes. And I think Mosquera did the needful and they went ahead to put in a very huge shift. Left-sided centre-back, that's where we obviously ask who comes in through and who doesn't, For me, I'll obviously go in for Hincapi, rested in that game of Bayern Munich. And I know the manager is going to be deploying him into this particular game of football as he featured into the North London Derby. And this is another London Derby that I think he now has a very huge test about. And I think if at all you are Mikel Arteta, if at all you don't give Mikel Arteta his flowers, then you are just jealousy, and just deluded, knowing the truth, and you're like, no, that's not the truth. Because Mikel, the injury of Gabriel Magalhaes is coming in through as a blessing in disguise for Mikel Arteta. You understand? It is coming in through as it's coming in through as a blessing in disguise. How is it coming in through as a blessing in disguise? These two players, Mosquera and Hincapi, we are only gonna be assured of game time to start in every game of Arsenal in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. But the injury of Gabriel Magalhaes has changed the situation. The narrative has gone ahead to change. The tide has gone ahead to change. And how has it gone ahead to change? Now the manager can play Hincapi in the North London Derby and he starts him. And then in the game against Bayern Munich, I would have gone in to say Hincapi played very well against Spurs and let me throw him in against Bayern Munich. The manager shocks us all and says, Mosquera, please come in through and really start. And we don't know who is obviously going to be starting, but I think Hincapi will be called up for to do the needful as they play against Chelsea. Midfield, Martin Zubimendi, no doubt about it. The lad is really that special, and you saw to it that he was all over the place in that game of Bayern Munich, and he really went ahead to win the midfield battle in there for you. Alongside who? Obviously, Declan Rice, box-to-box midfielder, certified player, and he deserves a 5-finger salute. I never did the player ratings for the match of Bayern Munich, but this guy was really, 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 really that special. And when we go to the number 10 with Odegaard back and really getting in some minutes, do you think the manager will throw him in directly? My mind tells me no. If you're having an Eberechi Eze, you bought him from Crystal Palace, and this is the very first time he's really putting in a very huge shift. And he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham Hotspur. He came in through and provided an assist for the third goal that Martinelli went ahead to score against a club known as Bayern Munich. I think you cannot demoralize him by really taking him off the field of play. I think the best thing to do is getting him to that number 10 position, and this helps you to obviously have a very huge bench for you as a manager for a club known as Arsenal in there for you. So that is how I really believe the midfield three will obviously look in there. Right forward, Noni Madueke scoring a goal. Remember, by the way, Saka has not been really doing well, Whether it's him having the captain armband, I cannot tell, but it looks like it might be affecting him in there for you. So, Noni Madueke scored against Bayern Munich, and we don't know what the manager is going to be doing. Is he going to reward him with a start against a team known as Chelsea, or he's obviously going to be playing him off the bench? But because we know Saka is Saka, I start him in there as a right forward into this particular system because I know how he is a threat to Chelsea in there for you. And for Noni Madueke, I think it's better to see him come off the bench as he brings in something different. When Cucurella will be tired, This guy will bring in pace. One. I'm talking about who? I'm talking about a player known as Noni Madueke. Secondly, his skill set, by the way, he's unpredictable. He has a very good touch, and he can shoot, he can fight, he can bully people. And him being at Chelsea the previous season, he knows them really very well, and he knows who to obviously do this and obviously skip past him in there. For his chops ins and outs, what is the byline? I tell you, they'll obviously do a lot. And I think him coming off the bench will be something very important, and he'll be having another set of skill sets to obviously take on Cucurella. Left forward with Trossard, man in huge form, injured and doubtful for the game of Chelsea, though the manager says they have to obviously see whether he will pass the late fitness test, meaning that he might obviously might feature in there. I think Gabriel Martinelli coming off the bench and really scoring, you obviously give him a chance to start as a left forward in that particular game of football. And with Gyökeres and Kai Havertz having a very late decision to make, I think Mikel Merino has gone ahead to obviously liaise well with the players that has been playing with at Arsenal, and his false number 9 role that Arteta has told us he refers to him as a defensive 9 has gone ahead to take center stage in there for you. And I obviously get Mikel Merino to play part into this beautiful game of football in there for you, to say that Mikel Merino there to lead the line. So that is my probable starting 11 for the side of Arsenal as they take on a team known as Chelsea in there for you. So that is it. And now I head to how I think Chelsea will obviously line up. Chelsea, Sanchez will be in goal. James, Rech, right back. Cucurella, left back. Adarobio and Chalobah, though for me I would prefer Fofana to come and play in that central defense, but it will depend. They play a system of 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Then Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, and Estavo in the midfield 3. Then Pedro, left forward, Neto, right forward, Liam Delap leading the line. So we'll be having some huge battles to watch this particular game of football, and those battles are gonna be Pedro Neto taking on Carafiori, Yao Pedro taking on Julian Timber, Liam Delap coming in through to face Hincapi and William Saliba. Midfield battle, Caicedo and Enzo taking on Declan Rice and Martin Zubimendi. By the way, that midfield battle is obviously going to be very interesting in there for you. But all in all, that's how I believe they'll obviously line up. And Arsenal also have to see Saka face on Cucurella, Martinelli face on Rich James. I think that is it. That is it in there. Now let's go to the head-to-head stats as they are being quoted to us by the BBC. Chelsea have won just one of their last 11 Premier League games against Arsenal. 3 draws, 7 losses, and are winless in 7. 2 draws, 5 losses since a 2-0 win at the Emirates in August 2021. So, Chelsea has really taken some time without beating a club known as Arsenal. You understand? And Chelsea have won just one of their last 11 Premier League games against Arsenal. And that means Arsenal are really having an edge over this team. Having lost 6 of their 7 Premier League away games against Chelsea between 2013 and 2018, Arsenal are now unbeaten in their last 6 visits to Stamford Bridge. You've heard. In their last 6 visits to the Stamford Bridge, Arsenal have won 3 and they've drawn 3. They're unbeaten in their last 6 visits. This is just the 5th time Arsenal have faced Chelsea while top of the table in the Premier League, with the Gunners winning each of the previous 4. 3-2 in January 2003 at home, 2-1 in February, away, 1-0 in December 2007 at home, and 5-0 in April at home 2024. So this is the fifth time Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously face Chelsea when they are on top of the table. And every time it has gone ahead to happen, Arsenal has gone ahead to beat Chelsea. That's what you should know. Just 43% of Chelsea's Premier League points this season have come in home games. 10 out of 23, with only Tottenham Hotspur 28 earning a lower share of their points at home. So, meaning that Chelsea at home have gone ahead obviously be doing better. And meaning that most of the points have gone ahead to get them away from home, meaning that at home they're not really doing good. Teams have gone ahead to come at home and they've gone ahead to bossy them at home. That is it. Chelsea have opened the scoring in each of their last 7 Premier League games. It's their longest run of scoring, first since April 2004, also 7. A run that was ended by a 5-0 loss against Arsenal. So Arsenal went ahead to really end their run of the same caliber, and they come to a side known as Stamford Bridge. Will Arsenal come here and really score fast, or Chelsea will score fast and extend their record in there? We wait. Remember, Arsenal hasn't gone ahead to keep a clean sheet in their previous 2 Premier League games. They conceded 2 against Sunderland and they conceded 1 against Spurs. Since the start of 2022-2023 season, Arsenal have lost just 3 of their 40 London Derby matches in the Premier League. They've won 28 and they've drawn 9, with just 1 of those defeats coming away from home. 1-2 versus Fulham in December 2023. Now, Arsenal are the king of London. If you really doubt it, then refer to this stat that out of the 40 derbies, they've gone ahead to win 28 and they've gone ahead to draw 9. You understand? So they're really in huge form. Mikel Arteta's first defeat as Arsenal manager came against Chelsea in his second game in charge in December 2019. Despite this, the Spaniard has the 3rd highest Premier League win rate against the Blues, 58.3%. He has won 7 out of 12 of any manager to take charge of 10 games plus against them. Behind Pep Guardiola, 61%, and Kenny Dalglish, 76%. So, however much he lost his first fixture against Chelsea in 2019, when he had just gone ahead of his coming through as a manager of Arsenal, I tell you what, he has the highest winning rate after Pep Guardiola in this. With 2 goals and 5 assists, Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard has been involved in more Premier League goals against Chelsea than any other opponent, 7. He has 2 goals and 5 assists. He and teammate Gabriel Magalhaes have also never lost in 8 games against them, 6 wins and 2 draws, with only Patrick Vieira facing the Blues more often without defeat in the competition 10 times. Now, Gabriel Magalhaes is away, but Odegaard is back. And as I told you, I see him starting off the bench. But the manager might shock you and he throws him into start. Chelsea's Pedro Neto has been involved in 5 goals in his last 5 Premier League games, 3 goals, 2 assists, and is looking to score in 3 games in a row for the first time. The Portuguese has also been involved in 3 goals in his last 4 starts against Arsenal, 2 goals and 1 assist, netting the Blues equalizer in this exact fixture last season. Obviously, he really did pull out that trigger and it went to the back of the net. Only against Liverpool, 6 has Arsenal's Leandro Trossard scored more Premier League goals than he has against Chelsea, 4. His next goal will be his 50th in the Premier League, and he'll be the 50th. Is really the 50th Belgian to reach this milestone after Romelu Lukaku, who has 121, Christian Benteke has 86, Edwin Hazard has 85, and Kevin De Bruyne has 72 in there. So he would have gone ahead, obviously, get into that bracket of those superstars in there that have blessed the Premier League from Belgium. Now, I know this is where most of you are really asking me, what is your prediction? What is my prediction? 3-1 win for the club of Arsenal. That is my prediction. That is it. I think Arsenal has really gone mad. And if you think you can stop them, we give you a chance. Arsenal is the yardstick of whether you are good enough. If you come in through and really put up a show on Arsenal, then you have to obviously go ahead and really thank your players for some good work done. So that is my prediction. 3-1 win for the club of Arsenal, away at the Emirates. Sorry, at the Stamford Bridge. I don't know what your thoughts are about this, but that is it. Tell me, who do you want in? Who do you want out? I'm going to be dropping the probable starting 11 for the side of Chelsea in here for the Chelsea fans. And obviously, I'll be dropping the combined 11 later on today or tomorrow morning to see what your thoughts are about it in here onto the Rokani Media Football. So guys, first video of the day, 29th of November. The month is coming to a full end. Tomorrow, we will be climaxing it with a big one. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Good morning, and thank you very much for watching in through. We out. Bye-bye, and have a good Saturday.